The Montreal Canadiens, heading into the 25-26 season, will have a ton of forwards to try out for the team. Tonight, we'll be talking about the Montreal Canadiens forward lines, who's going to make it, what lines they may play on, and it'll be a little bit of a debate with me and my guest host, Stephen Cohen.
Slafkovsky score! Petrie once goal with another save. Laine Hudson scores! Goes after it now. He's in. He scores! All right,
Welcome back to Next Shift with Rick Wagan. Suzuki does not suck. I have my guest here, Stephen Cohen, as I talked about, and we're going to talk about the Montreal Canadiens forward lines for the 25-26 season. Would love your take, Stephen, as I pull up our list of players and where people might go. Would love your take on what you think of the Montreal Canadiens forward lines, who's going to play where, who's going to make it, how many players are going to have. Would love your take. So welcome
All
on
right. Thanks
show.
for having me back, Rick. It's been a while. I think the last show we had was just before or during the playoffs. I'm super excited and pumped for the season. Canadians made a lot of great moves in the off season. So I'm super psyched for this team with Demidov coming back in his, I don't know, year one technically, but, everybody's super excited about that and whatnot. All right. Okay. So here we go. So I think the first line is going to be, you got the first two. Nick Suzuki is going to be the first line center, and Caufield will be left wing, I believe. And then the right wing will be Slafkovsky. I think that's for me, at least to start the season. And I think that Urav is going to take advantage of this. Is a good thing because I think he's going to have like heat right up his butt, so to speak, because he's going to feel the pressure of having to produce. Otherwise, there's a lot of very talented players right behind them.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. The line of Suzuki, Caufield, and Slafkovsky had some of the best metrics 5-on-5. They had a great second half of the season. I was watching the highlights of Cole Caufield's 37 goals during the season, and I would say more than half of them, Slafkovsky was integral in making a play to make that happen. He's in his fourth season. It's his season to take it over. And like you said, he'll have pressure from Demidov and others, Bolduc and others that could take over his spot. So he's going to have to start from October and not wait till the later half of the year. So we're on the same page. I agree with
Perfect. Okay, so let's drive into the second lines. For me, we're going to start with the wings because I think the wings are easy. So we're going to have Patrick Laine. He'll be on the left side. And then Ivan Demidov on the right side. And then the center is an interesting move here. So I do believe that the Canadiens will give Dach a chance to be the second line center. I do believe it. So do I think he's going to succeed? The answer is probably not. So I do think I would like, I don't know if you can put a slash in the middle, but we'll put Dach there. I do think Bolduc is eventually going to take that second line center. I know he's a winger, but he does play center, and I think they're projecting him and they're going to try him at center. And I think that that's an explosive line. Demidov, Bolduc, and Laine, a potential explosive line. So that's my take on it. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I mean, if the Montreal Canadiens don't make any more moves before the season starts, I believe that they're going to start Dach at center. Bolduc has not played center since 2 years prior to his junior hockey season. So I'd be shocked. He's a good defensive forward, but he's not what I would call a prototypical center. So if Dach is not ready, for example, if he's injured still or not getting there, and they have not made a trade, I anticipate players like Newhook and even a Kapanen or a Beck will get a shot at center probably before Bolduc. That's what I think. But that being said, Dach will start. I think Dach will get a good chance. Dach had some incredible games, I'll call them, with Suzuki and Caufield back in the day. Demidov's a special player, and Dach has a brain on him, at least offensively. The risk of this line is on the defensive side of the puck. As you
Absolutely.
Dach was minus 29. Demidov is a very smart hockey player. He'll be a good defensive forward at one point, but he's 19 years old and he's concentrated the bulk of his time on playing offense. I think you have a great coach in Martin St. Louis who taught Caufield how to play a 200-foot game, and I think he's going to do the same thing for Demidov. But day one, it's not there. And then Patrick Laine, although he looks really good in the summer and he's going to be healthy, he's not known for his defensive capability. So
I agree.
you have Dach, Demidov, and Laine on the same line. There's a risk there, and that's why I think a guy like Beck or Newhook, and or changing things up, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking, could drive a different outcome. So keep going. What do you
Okay.
think? So let's go to the bottom
No,
six.
no, I'm not. So if you want to put another line, because you're thinking that the person who would replace Doc would be Beck or Newhook. Who do you think?
Well, I think something else happens if that happens, if Dach doesn't make it. So let's go. I don't think.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a line of Demidov of that person and Laine. I think something else will.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next one. Next one I think is very simple. So, I think the wingers will be Anderson and Galley.
Mm-hmm.
So you can put them. I don't know which way who
Doesn't.
goes where. Anderson goes on that side. Galley on that side. And I'm going to stick Evans right there because they played together. And I think that that our coach MSL likes that line. He feels that another year under their belt, is going to have more chemistry. Galley scored 20 goals. Anderson had a good season last season, and Evans also had a great season. So I think that's pretty solidified as a strong third line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have a little bit of a different take for whether you call it a third. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to have a third and fourth line. They're just going to have two third lines because if you start seeing who remains on this list, it's not a fourth line. So
Right.
I mean, this is an energy line and a smart line. I'll tell you that I have a different lineup
Okay.
on the bottom six. I'll leave it at that. So,
Okay.
but you keep going. I would like to see
All
how you
right.
it off, and then I'll
All
dance.
right.
Yep.
All right. So now the fourth line, because we agree that Doc starts and gets the second line start, which I think, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Newhook goes into the center spot.
Okay.
Bolduc takes a wing spot. This is a good one. So I believe the person. So I know Blais is a veteran, and I know he's a proven veteran. So listen, I haven't seen much of Blais to say yay or nay. I have seen Kapanen.
So
I think Kapanen is out of all those players. Again, I have not seen Veleno or Blais play really, but from what I've seen of Kapanen, I think that he makes the team and he starts and he's given the chance to start on the wing. It could be Blais or him. And then the last person to make the team is either going to be Veleno or Beck. I give the nod to Beck. Sorry, Blais. So Blais, right? So Blais makes the team 100%. Yeah. So Blais makes the team. Beck starts in the down in the minors. If they keep 13 forwards. So Blais is your 13.
you have Blais as your 13th forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. So that's me.
Veleno gets sent to the minors.
I think Veleno gets St. Mars. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I can't imagine them denying Kapanen the opportunity to play. He's too good. He played whenever he got his opportunity to play up in the big, with the NHL team. And this is a team that was hunting for a playoff spot last year. Kapanen played very well. The kid is ready to take on a primetime role, and I don't think they can deny him that opportunity. That's my take.
Listen, back from my perspective, the reason why he may make the team is he is an elite face-off player. He's always had great numbers on a face-off. Veleno is a center with a left shot, and the Canadiens only have Newhook as their only left shot, unless you put Bolduc at center, which is not his regular position. Roy, it's his last season to kind of make it, in my opinion. He had a great season in the AHL. Does he get a shot somewhere? Could he have been there instead of Kapanen? Farrell is a player who had also a great season in the AHL, and he actually has to get through waivers. So if you don't bring him on the NHL team, you lose him potentially. And Jacki is a energy player who could play on the fourth line, but I'm not a fan of Blais. You could be a 13th forward, or he could be somebody that ends up going to the minors. He was in the minors last year for most of the years. I'd probably replace Veleno with Blais. So that would be
Okay.
my
Okay.
first change right away. The other thing I'll say is obviously initially I would have Dach with Demidov and Laine. I wouldn't put Bolduc at center. I wouldn't put Evans with Anderson and Gallagher. I would probably put Newhook in that spot, and I would have Evans play with
Didn't Evans play with Gallagher and Anderson for most of the season last year?
No, it was Dvorak that played with them for most of the season last year.
Okay.
Evans played.
Yeah, so I'll let's see how that materializes. I definitely think that Evans is the player that goes between Gallagher and Anderson. That's just my take. So I think it's going to be Evans.
So this is the lineup I think they're going to start with. I believe there'll be a battle between Beck and Kapanen for the fourth for that winger. Whoever wins that battle. So I guess that's my hash is going to be the I think Beck has the face off and the defensive prowess to play on the line with Evans and Bolduc. That could be interesting. That being said, I'm gonna shake it all up for a second. I don't think it's gonna work out between Demidov, Dach, and Laine, but I don't think they're.
I don't. This is my take. So I have a sneaky suspicion that Dach doesn't even make the team. Like I honestly believe Dach gets traded somehow, or gets released, or I just don't think Dach is in the future with the Canadiens. So I'm not low. I mean, right now, I think they give him a chance, but I think that to your point, Beck or Bolduc or somebody is going to, take that second spot. And I think, like, let's see how training camp goes, because as Gordon said, right, it's a big training camp for Mr. Dach. He doesn't come with his A game. He is not going to be on the Canadiens. So he might be in Laval or on a different team.
So there's an outside chance that Slafkovsky and Laine switch spots. There's an outside chance that Bolduc gets on a line with Dach and Demidov. There's a chance that you have a Kapanen, Newhook, Laine line. There's a chance you do what you said, Evans, Anderson, and Gallagher. I don't believe. I just don't believe that Blais is going to make the team. And like I said, I think it's a battle between Beck and Kapanen for that last number 12 spot. Veleno is a player from Montreal. He had an incredible junior hockey career. He's played 70 plus games this season for the last few years. Hasn't shown his offensive capability, but he has offensive capability. He also has a big, preseason to prove himself. It's going to be interesting to see who makes it between Veleno, Blais, Beck, Roy, Kapanen. There's a high likelihood that Dach is part of a trade. Dach or Newhook are part of a trade. But if they do that, most likely it'll be part of a trade to get a second line center. So it'll be a swap. So yeah, listen, we're not far off. I agree. There's 13 players. I don't think Blais is going to make the NHL at first. He might come, up at some point if there's some injuries.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think Jack Guy is going to make the team. I don't think Farrell's going to make the team, but there's a high likelihood they lose him to a team like Chicago or San Jose. One of those teams might pick him up free on the waiver wire. And then Anderson and Gallagher will probably stay together. Will they play with Newhook or Evans? We'll see. And I think Laine will get a shot with Demidov and Dach to start. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's
so. Let's see when does training camp start, Rick?
So training camp starts middle of September, a couple more, 4 weeks away. And they have the prospect tournament, I guess, in the first weekend. So you'll have players like Demidov and some other rookies, potentially like Beck and Kapanen, vying against other teams. I don't remember all the teams offhand. So anyway, it should be a fun. And then a week later, the big club get together and they start their preseason late September.
Super psyched. I'll give you my just high level prediction is Kirby Dach is not gonna He's not going to be what we expected. Whether he starts the season and they give him a chance, I just don't see it. I think they're going to know in the first couple of weeks of training camp what he's like, and you can't have a guy like that on fourth line. He's just a waste. So, I would expect that they would trade him, or maybe send them off on waivers or something. Again, let's see what happens.
Yeah, you and I are on a different path for Kirby Dach. We'll see how it goes. I think you're right. Day one, he may not be ready because he's coming off a second knee surgery, and there are rumors that he's not 100%. But that being said, given the opportunity to play with a Demidov and or a solid lineup, he could be a winger on a third line too that could add a lot of value depending on where things are. So
Okay.
he's a big guy. He can fight. If he can learn how to hit, and play a rugged game, he can actually learn from Slafkovsky. I heard somebody say that Slafkovsky's younger, but Slafkovsky took a couple of years to figure out, I want to play like Brady Tkachuk. And he started doing that at the second part of last season.
Right.
Kirby Dach should probably take up a power forward role, whether it's a center or a winger, and take on that type of role. So I think he's a smart hockey player. I think he has a lot of skill. He has some deficiencies on the defensive side of the puck. And that's why I think some lines will change. That's why I think Bolduc will end up on that line. Not so much because Laine isn't good, but because the defensive capability of those three players is the challenge. So
All right. Let's see how it shakes out, Rick. This is exciting.
All right. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's middle of August, still some time to go or before the season, but we're getting closer every day, and I can't wait for the season to start. Thanks for coming on the show, Steven. That's it for us. That's it for Next Shift. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Slafkovsky scored!